Hey guys, and a very happy new year to everyone out there. And that's about as happy as this episode is going to get, probably, unfortunately. I don't know if it's just me. That's why I'm here to talk. Has this not been like this most epically crazy and most senses bad 2 or 3 weeks that you can remember? I mean, this has been epically bad on a personal level, national level, international level. It's been insanity. I just now am back to even functioning as a human right now. Apparently, there's a virus, stomach virus, something going around that's just absolutely brutal. Because this past Sunday, vomited like I've never in my life. I was praying for death. It was so bad. It was insanity. I have never, even when I had gallbladder issues a couple of years ago, and if anybody remembers that, that was horrific, epically bad. This even was worse than that. I could not believe the intense, excruciating, just blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it disgusted a lot of you. But it was, man, much more than I'd taken in the last week. It's like, where's this coming from? Is a lung coming out? What's going on here? This is insanity. So I got through that. The only good thing about that, the only good thing, is when you can hear my voice is scratchy. It burned me so bad. Like it was just over and over and over and over again for about 7 or 8 hours. But the only good thing about it, there is a upshot, is unlike so many people out there for their New Year's resolutions, I've already dropped weight. I dropped about 5 pounds of dehydration and you name it, as insanity. So I hope and pray that none of you are victimized by this awful plague, this whatever this stomach virus is that's going around. It is a nightmare. I'd take the flu in a hot minute over this. It's just the worst. Much worse than I had the COVID or anything else. I haven't had anything this bad that I can remember. It was awful, god awful. So I go with that. That's personal, of course. Then my father's been battling health issues for a few months now, and took a little bit of a turn for the worse over the Christmas break. And then, you know what's so bad about that too is, I mean, even the medical profession, unfortunately, it feels like nobody wants to do anything. Everybody just shuts down, for the couple of weeks before Christmas, and the week between Christmas and New Year's is no man's land. Nothing happens. It just feels like there's no sense of urgency to anybody. So that was incredibly frustrating, but hopefully we're finally getting some more answers on that. Maybe that issue will look up. Then we've got these awful fires in Los Angeles, and it is so heartbreaking. At first, you think, oh, how bad is that? We know what happened in where a lot of you remember the Smoky Mountains a few years back. I mean, it was just an utter nightmare, a panic and worry, and this is just dwarfs that as far as the number of people that have been impacted by it. So just heartbreaking, and no end in sight at this point. So we don't know. They're out of water and all kinds of stuff. It's just insane, and people finger pointing and blaming each other, and it's just not a good situation. Nobody wants to see that. It's just, man, this is like biblical. When you see this kind of stuff going on such a level in a place that, quite frankly, is pretty known for debauchery, and, it's not got the best reputation for morality and ethics and anything else. It's just weird how things like that happen in a place like, Hollywood and Los Angeles and all these places where, like I say, that don't have the best reputation for living good, clean lives. But I'm not particularly prescribing or saying that that's a, curse from God or anything of that nature. But it is just strange how, Sodom and Gomorrah, what have you, if you mess around enough, something bad ends up happening. It's almost, if you believe in karma, whatever it is. If you get engaged in the nonsense, then there's a price to pay. Usually the bill comes due. So I don't know. I don't know what to think, but I am still praying like crazy for those guys. It's just heart-wrenching. And of course, even in this area, people are still dealing with the after effects of Hurricane Helene. It shifted very quickly from being a very hot time of year to very cold. And so now people are dealing with all manner of issues. Now, one of the upshots for that, as some of you have seen, I'm sure, was the Amish who came there. I want to say 62 Amish folks came down there, donated $300,000 worth of money, and then built, 12 tiny houses to help house folks. It's just a real bright spot in a very dark time. So that is an upshot. There's always people doing good in this world. That's what I'm happy about and why I stay optimistic. But boy, there's been so much happening. It just piles on you, it's just very concussive. And then these drones, I mean, how bad is this situation where even my mom thinks she saw a drone? If the drones are coming to Dorian, Virginia, they've gone too far. I don't know what they're looking for at this point, but it is crazy how people get paranoid. I thought I might have saw one driving from Kingsport back on 11W one a couple weeks ago, and you don't know. Everybody's paranoid and suspicious, and guess what? They don't give you anything to dissuade you from feeling that way, so you can't really trust the government or anybody else to tell you the truth. So you're sitting here trying to figure it out for yourself, and get with people that somewhat like-minded or even opposite-minded to get perspectives to where you can actually find out maybe this is what's truly going on, because I have no earthly clue. And then you got, of course, these snowstorms. We're going to get hit with a very bad storm coming up. I think it's going to hit a lot of the country, and of course not California, who could use it probably, but it's going to hit Nashville. Got relatives down that way. I've got all kinds of folks, and they're supposed to get doused with some snow, and then we've got, of course, around here we're facing 4 to 7 inches coming up here this weekend, and I dread it like a beating. It is so hard to get out and get anything done, and then where I'm at is pretty vulnerable for the power to go out. And wouldn't you know, genius that I am, I swore to myself when the power went out over Hurricane Helene that I'd get a generator, and guess who hasn't done that? Mr. Procrastinator here, which probably should be my New Year's resolution, is to not procrastinate or get a generator or both, ideally. So I still don't have a situation taken care of, and I'm like, well, where I'm at, if the power goes out, my cell phone goes out. I can't get a phone call, text, nothing, so I'm off the radar for however long the power is out. So that's kind of a scary thing. A lot of people depend on me, and I depend on a lot of people, so it is not a good situation at all to be with. And the other things that really affected me personally too, which are certainly is national stories, are these terror attacks. The guy in Las Vegas who blew up a Tesla right outside the Trump Tower or Trump Hotel. He, where I stayed, Resorts World, just what was that, September this year? It was just right down the road from where that happened. I mean, I could have probably looked out my room window and saw where it would have happened. It's amazing to think that such insanity and evil can happen so close to where you've been very recently. And so that weighs heavily on me. It's like, man, this is, what in the world are these people, what's coming to somebody that make them operate that way? Just completely unhinged, and it's not easy to understand for anybody with a rational, sane mind to comprehend how this stuff works. And the one that even hit me harder was the New Orleans attack, because just a couple of years ago, one of the best trips I've had in a long time, my son and I went to New Orleans we went to watch a basketball game. Ostensibly, we went to watch the Pelicans play, the Philadelphia 76ers, and it was just a fantastic time. My son got to shake or give high five to Zion Williamson. I mean, just a huge deal for us. And then, wouldn't you know, as great luck would have it, we went into the Manning restaurant, I guess owned by Archie Manning. I don't know if Peyton and Eli have anything to do with it financially, but maybe they do. But anyway, we walk in there, and there's this little black midget lady. That's probably 3 words I shouldn't say. Anyway, I'm trying to give you a description. She was a very odd character. She was the hostess, and she just took a liking to us for whatever reason, especially my son. She just really liked him, and she just got us off to the side and was like, you guys know who Archie Manning is? And I was like, oh, of course. I remember him as a kid. And so my son and I, she said, well, he's sitting right over there beside the bar. So we look over there, and sure enough, there he is, just sitting bigger than Pete. So me and my son got to go over there and walk up and talk to him. And man, he was such a cool guy. Probably the nicest, friendliest, most engaging, open celebrity I've ever met. I met Weird Al Yankovic, and he was really nice too. I made him laugh, which is probably one of my greatest claims to fame personally, because when you make a man who makes people laugh, you got to be funny, right? And but anyway, so Archie Manning, we got to talk to him, and it was wild because his grandson Arch Manning had just signed with Texas, and we got to get his opinion about that, and he was just very open and honest and direct, and it was like, man, this is cool. We're getting some inside baseball. This guy's treating us like we're old friends. And so that was, and we was down there right before the Sugar Bowl, because hopefully I said that we were down there for New Year's Day. And we were right down there before the Sugar Bowl, and well, I got to saw the Sugar Bowl parade. Everything was really, really cool about it. And then you get down there this time of year, and it's still warm. You're sweating, and it's like everything about it was just a, epic event and something you'll remember the rest of your life. And it was a good thing. And then you come and see, man, how easily that you could have been right there, because we stayed on Bourbon Street. That's where our hotel was. And it's like how easily we could have been caught up in some crazy insanity. Just one nut out here taking some crazy chance and no cares in the world, just hell-bent on destruction. Just so much evil in the world. It just feels like all this stuff is just welling up, and with no end in sight. And I hate to, just to say that, but I'm like, is everybody else noticing this, or does it feel the same way to you? Or hopefully you got a lot better. I would love to hear that you have some great things that have been going on for you, because it's just been never ending. It's like do one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's just pretty exhausting already. And it's just, what is it, January the, well, just now turned January the 9th. So we're not even a week and a half barely into this new year, and it's already been bam, 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 bam. So almost dread turning the news on anymore. You never know what you're going to hit with. But anyway, hopefully you guys out there are having a much, much better time of it. I've just finally got able to get to the post office, and want to thank Judy Pierce for a Christmas card I picked up later, and then Johnny Mayo got your letter as well, and I'll be getting your book out now that I can actually get back out. So it will be in the mail very shortly, and we appreciate you guys' support and watching us and sticking around for thick and thin, guys. It's going to get a lot thinner. Well, hopefully I will too. We'll keep this. I'm gonna kind of keep this weight loss stuff up. I like that. If you could lose 5 pounds in just a few days like that, it's pretty encouraging. It's like, you know what? Maybe I can skip that ice cream tonight. Maybe I can switch to water. So I'm gonna try to keep the ball rolling there. And you hear Bobby Kennedy talk about make America healthy again. I'm gonna try to make it even more localized, make myself healthy again. So MMHA is my motto for this year. I've got to get back in shape, and when I see what my dad's gone through, and just stuff like that gets in your head, and you realize, man, you're only here once, and you want to make it count. And sometimes the choices you make are great for you or terrible for you. So it's all in your hands ultimately. So I'm going to be trying to do a much better job this year, and wish me luck. Send me prayers, good thoughts, and whatever you can, because I really, 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 really want to get in much better shape. I've got little children I want to live for and be healthy for and have fun with, and be the kind of dad that they would need and want me to be. So, but that's, well, I'll wrap it up here before I get everybody depressed completely, and we all have to go see therapists together and get on antidepressants or whatever else we need to do. But anyway, guys, I will catch you next time on this channel.